right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Super Bowl 52 preview here. We're going to give you a little snippet of action. We got our resident sports guru, Mr. Richard Sullivan, in-house. So we go into this game today here, Providence, Rhode Island, in our Providence, Rhode Island studios right here in the heart of New England, Patriots Nation. And you look at these Patriots, this team here, and they started out this season 4-4. A lot of questions about Tom Brady's durability. A lot of questions about the defensive side of the line, and just those questions were sorted out kind of by like week 7. You know what I mean? And
as usual,
and
they figure out their issues, and there's always that in the very beginning, first quarter of the season, that worry, like, oh, the defense isn't really clicking. It's this and that. Brady's a little sluggish. And then, by the midway point, they're well on their way to 13-3 or 14-2. And now they're back. And it's a rematch from, what was that year? 2004-5 or 5-6? The Eagles. I think that was 4-5.
4-5, yeah. And
the Donovan McNabb
throwing up there.
Yeah.
On the final drive, couldn't do the Brady tango.
Nope.
Couldn't pull it off.
Could never get in the TB12 with that kind of behavior.
Definitely not. Alex Guerrero would never let him anywhere near that facility. He'd be one of those guys running up and down the stairs in the stadium, and
drink more water,
off he goes.
Show more metal.
That's it.
You're in the Super Bowl here.
So,
but they couldn't do it, and they've never won a professional championship. The Eagles.
It's interesting to think about that with the Eagles, because it's such it's basically a heritage franchise. Although there is something about them that is, maybe it's the fact they haven't won a Super Bowl, is it separates them from, like, let's say a Pittsburgh or Dallas.
Right, they're a legendary franchise. Like they're the Eagles.
The Eagles.
They have that kind of stature, but just you want to call them tortured fan base? I don't know if you really do. And they've had a lot of success. They've come close a few times.
Really fun run at the beginning of the last decade, the previous decade there with but also really disappointing. And think about Andy Reid, and here we are again, Andy Reid, well out of the conversation in early January, really, and
the Andy Reid way.
That's the way you do it.
Get to January, February, I don't know.
But now they make the move with Alex Smith, and it really changes the shape of the quarterback market with Kirk Cousins' availability and where the money's going to land. And
this almost never happens, having a quarterback in his prime be a free agent in this way.
Trying to think of the last time such a scenario occurred. Maybe the best I can think of would be, he wasn't a free agent, but when Alex Smith was traded to Kansas City because for cap. Trying to think of the last time a legit quarterback was shuffled, but obviously
it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often.
And the thing is, you're saying, okay, you're going from Cousins to Alex Smith, a few years older, but you're not going to be paying him $35 million a year, because Kirk Cousins is going to be the highest paid player in the league now. It's just, he's going to get a ridiculous amount of money.
It's incredible to think about him and where he was in the Redskins, on the Redskins depth chart.
Drafted the same year as RG3.
Yep.
4th round, I think.
Yep, I think that's correct. Yep.
And then
sounds about right anyway.
Franchise tag. He's been there for 5-6 years now. Franchise tag the last 2 years.
Right.
Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. I thought
There's something about it, and there's something about being number 2 on a depth chart behind a guy who has a Subway endorsement and is sort of a superstar before he's really done anything.
Right.
And obviously the knee injury, we're talking about RG3 here, the RG3 knee injury derailed his career without question, but his maturity, and it was maybe never there, and now you got Kirk Cousins who survived that and kind of just played the long game, and now here he is. He's going to be
got better every year.
That's
incrementally.
It. Yep.
And now he's going to get
highest paid player in the league.
Yep. And see what team does it. My Jets,
they should
they
take
can afford to get him.
They got to do it. I mean, the thing about the Jets right now is if they're advertising PSLs and ticket sales.
Yeah.
Already, they're pushing that on sports radio, on social media, in a way that I don't think I've ever seen an NFL team advertise, hey, buy tickets, buy packages in January while the other teams are in the playoffs.
It's
Your team's here, just trying to, while there's still football in people's minds, just trying to get every dollar they can because their product is so inferior to what you can get with other entertainment sources in New York City. Just that,
right.
frankly,
and
not only football.
We'll eventually get these questions about lowering the prices of PSLs because they're not selling as well as you want. It's like, well, what do you want? You're putting an inferior team. I think this was the 7th year in a row we didn't make the playoffs. And it's just, as a fan, why are you going to buy one of those PCLs if you know exactly you're getting Josh McCown and a bunch of receivers and running backs you never heard of?
Right.
And it's
PCL, right.
To be in New York and not compete, it drives me crazy. I can't even articulate it very well.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's utterly shocking. And the division being what it is, the AFC East, it has allowed for the Patriots to do a lot of what they've done, taking care of business, if you will, positioning themselves to be a 1 or a 2 seed with such regularity that at least a chunk of the tournament is going to go through Gillette. And then, if you think about the Dolphins, and they have had a little bit of a run. The Bills, come on. What even with this playoff berth, it's the Bills, and we're not seeing any development there to that next level.
This AFC East for the last 16 years has just been an absolute joke. It's just the way the Patriots win this every year. And these teams, and I guess they're blessed the fact they're in divisions with very dysfunctional teams.
Yeah.
All three, Bills, Dolphins, Jets, it's just, maybe this is the year they break through.
Right, and you like the prognosticators,
never
love
have
it.
a quarterback. None of these teams. They've had Tom Brady there 16 years.
Yep.
Definition of stability and greatness. And I can't even imagine how many quarterbacks those 3 teams have gone through.
It must be
during
over.
Brady's ever.
I would say I'd say the number, it's like 24. I'd say it's over. I think it might, if you took all the quarterbacks who have started for those 3 teams, Dolphins, Bills, Jets, from a Matt Moore to trying to think of
to a Bryce Petty.
A Bryce Petty. Who was there before Tyrod Taylor was?
Oh, it's good.
EJ Manuel. Exactly.
The list goes
It's a
on
great
and
list.
on. Oh, got to get on Wiki and compile that one fully.
So you look at that for the Patriots, and that's their backstory. And here they are again in the Super Bowl with a really spectacular stroke of luck, really, because as difficult as an opponent as the Jaguars were, and it proved to be, and they
were tenacious.
Venerable team, and certainly defensively they matched up well, and they pressured the front 4, which is exactly how Tom Coughlin beat the Patriots in 2 Super Bowls, and got that pressure on Tom Brady. But a stroke of luck in the sense that there really wasn't another great team. The league wanted Pittsburgh to beat that team, but they just truly weren't. The Chiefs, we saw a lot of holes there.
Yep.
The league generally being weak, especially in the AFC.
Yeah, very weak AFC this year. NFC, you had the classic Vikings-Saints game, that ending. I was really pulling for the Vikings this postseason.
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
The clap. How was that clap? Overhand
Skull,
clap. Yeah. It was bizarre clapping scenario.
I thought, the Case Keenum story, I can get into this. This is kind of cool.
And it's funny because if Case Keenum were in a Super Bowl, you would look at it a lot differently than I'd mentioned off air that was kind of tough for me to get behind the Eagles with being a Carson Wentz fan. I don't really want to see him win the Super Bowl without Carson Wentz.
Right, the Wentz injury was definitely takes any excitement out of it.
Definitely.
It would be great to see the Patriots upset, but still, it's like to see Wentz in this game going up against Brady, the old versus the new. It's perfect. Wentz has been the 2 MVP candidates for most
definitely, yeah. Most definitely MVPs.
That would have been really exciting. But Nick Foles, he had that 2013, 27 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yep.
He played incredible, 2 weeks ago. So if he can recapture that magic.
There it is.
Whatever that Nick Foles, whatever he can sometimes muster.
Might be there,
Set for the ages, perhaps.
It would be, yeah. Let's just quickly talk about the significance of a 6th Lombardi trophy for the Patriots organization. During, other organizations have, what is it? The Steelers have 7 championships, 9.
Believe 7.
7, yeah, 7. So Patriots are well on their way into eclipsing that number in time. But the fact that we've done it, I say we, I have nothing to do with it, but I've been a fan of the team well before they had these successes. But the fact that the organization has maintained such steady success over this period of time since, you don't want to say the emergence of Belichick, but the emergence of, let's say, the playoff run of the first championship team.
Yeah.
That playoff run, that's probably when it really start to click somehow. And
It's unparalleled.
There's nothing like it.
And again, as a football fan, as a Jet fan, I hate the Patriots. I just, this does kill a part of me inside to see this. But as a football fan, 6 Super Bowls for the same coach and quarterback. That's incredible.
It's the type of stuff that, you hear about from previous generations of,
Right.
Paul Bear
I do feel that
Bryant.
way. Yeah, I feel like 20, 30 years from now, this is something you look back on.
It's a lore. It's gonna
Become a legend.
Become a legend, and there'll always be the undertone. Oh, they cheated and they did this and they did that. But way more than anything, you'll hear just that this was the greatest pairing of a coach and quarterback.
Yes,
and probably the best example of a professional sports organization that at least the U.S. has produced.
Can't run it any better than that.
That's the way you do it,